Scan the major headlines of 2026, and you'll find a nation moving at breakneck speed. Inflation is steady below 2%, digital infrastructure is expanding, and the economy is accelerating. While the public focus remains on gross wealth creation, a second operation is quietly reallocating the power over that wealth. Two simultaneous shifts are driving this: a sweeping new trade deal with the United States, and inside these walls, the 131st Constitutional Amendment. These changes act as a mathematical blueprint, designating a specific set of winners and losers for the next decade. Understanding the future requires tracking who actually holds the controls in this new system. We start with the math of the US-India interim trade deal. Dropping reciprocal tariffs opens wide-scale access to American markets for Indian exporters. The immediate winners are micro, small, and medium enterprises, particularly in the auto component sector. For years, they struggled against heavy 50% tariffs. Now, thousands of smaller manufacturers can export at volume. Yet, the deal is highly selective. While it opens borders for manufacturing, it shields vulnerable domestic sectors. To protect local farmers, the government negotiated a minimum import price of 80 rupees per kilo on imported apples. The agreement's long-term influence stems from its focus on technical knowledge rather than physical shipments. It facilitates high-level technology transfers from foreign firms directly to private Indian companies. This builds a domestic military drone ecosystem. We already see advanced platforms like the Hermes 900 and Stingbee manufactured locally by the private sector. Economically, the trade deal manages to expand the national pie while simultaneously building walls around its most vulnerable contributors. But as the economic pie grows, the political pie is being sliced in a different direction. For half a century, India's political map was frozen. In 1976, parliamentary seats were capped based on the 1971 census. The goal was to motivate state governments to invest in family planning without fear of losing national influence. The delimitation bills of 2026 break that freeze. They expand the maximum size of the Lok Sabha, the lower house of parliament, from 550 to 850 seats. Representation is now returning to a population-based metric, using 2011 census data. In this new system, sheer population density becomes the currency of political power. Southern states like Kerala and Tamil Nadu stabilized populations, shrinking their representation. Conversely, northern states absorb power. Uttar Pradesh jumps to 133 seats, Bihar to 69. Because the Rajya Sabha remains capped, the Lok Sabha dwarfs it. The power ratio shifts to 3.3 to 1. The math creates a brutal irony. Demographic responsibility in the 20th century has resulted in a loss of legislative power in the 21st. India enters the late 2020s deeply integrated with Western markets, possessing a modernized defense sector and governed by a new political map. But consider the geography of this new system. The tech hubs and private enterprises generating the bulk of the country's new wealth are concentrated in the southern and western states. Yet the constitutional steering wheel, the power to write laws and allocate budgets, is now held by the demographic heavyweights of the north. This creates a direct divorce between the regions contributing the most to the country's economic growth and the regions holding the most political representation. The year 2026 secures India's status as a global economic power, but it will also be remembered as the year the republic's internal balance of power was overhauled.